A lot of things in this garden mean a lot to me because they were gifts, either plant gifts from friends or clients. This little bird bath used to live at Watch Hill. At an early client, Mary Edwards, and I had a client whose name was Mrs. Duffield, Isabel Duffield, who was a wonderful, sweet lady, and I admired that in her garden once, and she generously offered it to me. And I've had a lot of wonderful clients like that who do. This little lion was another gift from a friend who was a hippie, but he's now an attorney gone hippie. So this is, we have this beautiful, very, very large oak tree to the south, which is an inspirational tree in this garden. It's really much too close and not practical to have near the house, but we leave it because we just like the tree. I think it's probably the oldest tree in this neighborhood. In this garden going up the hill, I've got Pachysandra, which most of my clients hate, and they say it's too ubiquitous. They want to always get rid of it. But what I did was started some Lysomachia clethrioides or gooseneck loosestrife in it, and it makes it a more interesting spot. That's gone wild in that area, and in the summer the loosestrife gives a period of bloom, and it disappears in the winter, and then in the winter you have that nice green for the hill. And in the rest of the, on the left, to the left of the steps going up the hill, I just let several different kinds of evergreen ground cover go wild. And in green or environmental gardening, you sort of you can introduce things into an area, and then you let nature and the plants decide who's going to take over, and you go with it, whatever God and nature decides. And in this garden, there's Vinca, Pachysandra, ivy that sort of happily intertwingle with each other. Because these are environmental natural gardens, I use almost no annuals here. Later on I'll probably put in 1 or 2 packs of color, but I also put a lot of herbs in this area. And I love basils, the unusual basils. In this pot I've got Siam Queen and Magical Michael and conventional basil, and then over there some other 2 or 3 other kinds of basils. They're actually fabulous in salads, and you can get lots of different interesting smells. I also love lemon verbena and pineapple sage. I do a lot of work with kids in my Sharing Nature groups, which bring little kids of all different kinds into gardens. And I find that children love plants that are scented. Our Sharing Nature groups bring inner city kids into gardens, and developmentally disabled kids and emotionally disabled kids. And gardens, I think, have a very healing influence on, and a positive influence on development for kids. I think that's American Indians believed that keeping children close to plants, gardens, and nature was a really health-giving thing. This garden, in this garden, I use a lot of rescued architectural elements. This is just a column that was being, an ionic simple column that was being thrown out in Hartford somewhere probably. And I plant this grapevine for the leaves and the wisteria for the leaves. Wisteria, with wisteria, it's better to buy a grafted plant. This was a baby plant that was a gift, a self-sown baby from a client, and after 15 years, during the last couple of years, it's finally had 1 or 2 blooms, but I keep it for the leaves mostly. This is a little herb area off the kitchen. This is that wonderful lemon verbena that can be brought into the house as and wintered in the house it sort of gets sad looking, but it's very therapeutic smell. This is pineapple sage, which is also a wonderful, wonderful thing, but much better than taking tranquilizers and drugs. These are basils, more special basils. This is Australian, Thai, and dwarf minette, which all have very unusual smells, and they're great in salads. They really can perk up a salad or simple chicken dish or something. The metal sculptures on the site were another gift from my friend Linda Latch, who's a painter from Pratt Institute and a childhood friend, and they were done by her husband, Satirios, who I believe now lives in Boston, but he was a very good metal sculptor. He actually did these while they were living in Essex, Connecticut, and there's many of them around the site. These gardens were made with natural stone when I was a youngster and had a better back and could do stonework. This was a gift from a friend, another gift. That's Scaviola. This is another one of gift from Linda and Satirios. And these are natural rhododendron and beauty bush called Quitzia amabilis, which is a beautiful early June blooming plant. The hostas are Francis Williams and another hosta there. But natural stone is not more expensive than the cement that a lot of people use to build walls. And I think in a country garden especially, it's much more beautiful than cement walls. And probably just as easy or easier to build. This is beauty bush called Quitzia amabilis, and it's an old-fashioned shrub. There was one of them on the site when we actually bought the house years ago, and a few babies have occurred on the site. But it blooms the first week of June, and in that sequence of bloom scheme that I mentioned, it's a great thing to have in your country garden. This is a little St. Francis that was another gift from Duffield, and the metal sculpture is by gift from Linda and by Satirios Galiatsatos. And the tree above it was a gift from Mary Edwards, my dear old friend, who's the landscape architect for the Mark Twain and Nook Farm site, one of the 3 architects and lifelong friend. Because this yard has a lot of shade, we decided to do a part deck in sort of a sandy yellow so it would reflect sunlight into the house. And I did a stone wall there rather than a conventional planting with historic roses planted interspersed between the stones and the deck.